Welcome to the command center of your metabolism. Today, we're diving into carbohydrate flux and homeostasis. We'll explore the bypass reactions of glycolysis and gluconeogenesis, the mechanics of glycogen storage, and how your body uses hormones to flip the switch between burning energy and building reserves. Think of metabolic control like a faucet. It sets the total flow, or flux, through a pathway. But flux is nothing without stability. That's where metabolic regulation comes in, rebalancing intermediates so your cells don't face a chemical imbalance. Remember the Krebs principle. To increase flow without changing concentrations, you've got to turn up the volume on every enzyme in the line. Metabolism isn't a simple two-way street. It has one-way tolls called bypass reactions. While glycolysis uses hexokinase and PFK1 to break down sugar, gluconeogenesis uses glucose 6-phosphatase and FBPASE1 to build it back up. These divergent steps are where the real control happens. Muscle and liver play by different rules. Muscle's hexokinase 1 is a sugar hog. It's saturated even at low glucose levels to fuel movement. But the liver's hexokinase 4 is a team player. Its activity scales linearly with high blood glucose, ensuring the liver only takes what it needs when there's a surplus. Meet fructose 2, 6-bisphosphate, the ultimate metabolic toggle. It's not a fuel, it's a signal. When F26BP is present, it hits the gas on glycolysis, PFK1, and slams the brakes on gluconeogenesis, FBPASE1. It's reciprocal regulation at its finest. How does the body control that F26BP toggle? A single protein with two faces. Insulin activates the kinase side to raise F26BP and promote glycolysis. Glucagon triggers pKa to flip the switch to the phosphatase side, dropping F26BP levels and shifting the body into gluconeogenesis. Regulation isn't just about fast-acting enzymes, it's about long-term planning. In the fed state, ChREBP enters the nucleus to build more glycolytic enzymes. During a fast, insulin's absence allows FOXO1 to trigger the production of gluconeogenic enzymes until it's tagged for degradation when the next meal arrives. When you need energy now, glycogenolysis kicks in. First, phosphorylase clips off glucose units. Then, the debranching enzyme maneuvers around the curves. Finally, phosphoglucomutase converts the remains into glucose 6-phosphate, ready for action. Building energy stores is a high-tech assembly line. We activate sugar with UTP, use the protein glycogenin as a primer, and then glycogen synthase extends the chain. The branching enzyme finishes the job, creating a compact, high-density energy matrix. One molecule of epinephrine can trigger the release of 10,000 glucose molecules. How? Signal amplification. A GPCR activates CAMP, which triggers pKa, which activates a kinase, which finally turns on glycogen phosphorylase. It's a metabolic explosion designed for fight or flight. Insulin is the architect of storage. It triggers PKB to phosphorylate GSK3, creating a pseudo-substrate that gags the enzyme's active site. This stops GSK3 from inhibiting glycogen synthase, locking the cell into a dedicated storage state. The liver is its own thermostat. When free blood glucose is high, it binds directly to liver phosphorylase. This causes a conformational shift that exposes the enzyme to dephosphorylation, instantly halting glycogen breakdown without waiting for a hormonal signal. The liver is altruistic. It shares glucose with the brain and body. The muscle is selfish. It hoards energy for its own movement. The secret? The liver has glucose 6-phosphatase to export sugar. The muscle doesn't. Muscle listens to calcium and AMP. Liver listens to glucagon. In the fed state, insulin is king. The liver builds glycogen and fats, driven by PP1 and ChREBP. In the muscle, GLUT4 transporters open the gates, flooding the cells with glucose to top off the tanks. Everything is moving towards storage and synthesis. In the fasting state, glucagon and epinephrine take over. The liver becomes a glucose factory, pumping fuel into the blood via gluconeogenesis. Meanwhile, the muscle ignores glucagon and uses epinephrine and calcium to burn its own glycogen stores for localized ATP. It's a total mobilization of resources.